Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly while others struggle their entire lives? What if I told you there exists a simple command, just a few powerful words, that has transformed ordinary people into millionaires literally overnight? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. This isn't about another get-rich-quick scheme or complicated investment strategy. This is about something far more fundamental, something that's been hiding in plain sight all along. Has this ever happened to you? You work tirelessly, follow all the financial advice, yet somehow money always seems just out of reach, slipping through your fingers no matter how tight your budget or how many hours you put in. The truth might shock you. Money isn't what you've been led to believe. It doesn't think. It doesn't judge your worthiness. It doesn't decide who deserves abundance and who doesn't. Money simply obeys. And all this time, without even realizing it, you've been commanding it. Through every word you speak, every belief you hold, every unconscious thought pattern you've inherited about wealth and abundance. The wealthy elite have understood this secret for generations, though few would ever reveal it publicly. They know that while most people are begging, hoping, and wishing for financial freedom, they're speaking a different language entirely, one that money has no choice but to respond to immediately. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you're about to discover will completely transform your relationship with money forever. This isn't abstract theory or wishful thinking. Florance Scovel Shinn, one of the greatest spiritual teachers of the 20th century, revealed this truth decades ago when she declared that your word is law. She wasn't speaking metaphorically. She was revealing one of the most powerful universal principles governing our reality. Think about your current financial situation right now. The amount in your bank account, your debts, your assets, all of it is a perfect reflection of the commands you've been unknowingly giving to the universe. What if changing just a few words could dramatically alter this reality in days, not years? I've seen people go from drowning in debt to unexpected windfalls within 24 hours of applying this command. I've witnessed struggling entrepreneurs suddenly attract dream clients and opportunities that seemed impossible just days before. What you're about to discover might surprise you, but more importantly, it will empower you in ways you never thought possible. The command itself is deceptively simple, yet most people will never harness its power because they remain trapped in old patterns of speaking about money. They continue to declare lack while hoping for abundance. They speak the language of limitation while praying for freedom. But after today, you'll understand why. Money, you will never view your financial situation in the same way again. If you want to continue this journey of financial transformation, hit subscribe now. Each new video reveals another powerful command that reshapes your relationship with wealth and abundance. Florance Scovel Shinn uncovered this hidden truth nearly a century ago when she wrote, "Your word is law in the universe." This wasn't just poetic language. It was a revelation about the fundamental architecture of reality itself. Every syllable that leaves your lips carries a vibrational frequency that ripples through the quantum field, creating commands that the universe must follow. This isn't mysticism. It's the science of consciousness that cutting-edge physicists are only now beginning to understand. Think about the journey you've been on with money until now. From childhood, you've been bombarded with limiting narratives about wealth. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard for every penny. Rich people are just lucky. These aren't innocent observations. They're powerful programming that has shaped your entire financial mindset. The transformation begins when you recognize that these beliefs aren't your own. They're inherited stories, passed down through generations, designed to keep the majority of people in a perpetual state of financial struggle, while the few who understand the true nature of abundance continue to prosper. The impact of these false narratives has been devastating. They've created invisible barriers in your subconscious mind, blocking the natural flow of prosperity that should be your birthright. When you declare, "I can't afford that," or sigh, "Money is always tight," you're not just describing your situation, you're issuing commands that the universe has no choice but to obey. Behind the scenes of your conscious awareness, these declarations are being faithfully executed, manifesting exactly the conditions you've unknowingly decreed. This explains why so many hard-working, intelligent people remain trapped in cycles of lack despite their best efforts. It's not their actions that are failing them. It's the underlying commands they're issuing through their everyday language. The revelations I'm sharing with you have the power to completely rewire your relationship with abundance. When you begin to speak with authority rather than scarcity, when you command rather than beg, you'll witness shifts in your financial reality that seem nothing short of miraculous to those who don't understand this principle. Consider this. What if every financial struggle you've experienced wasn't because money is inherently difficult to attract, but because you've been speaking the wrong language? What if the wealthy aren't lucky, connected, or specially chosen, but simply understand how to issue commands that money must obey? Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by examining exactly how your current financial situation perfectly mirrors the words you've been speaking about money throughout your life. Because once you see this connection with crystal clarity, you'll understand why changing your declarations isn't just positive thinking. It's a fundamental recoding of your financial DNA. If this concept is resonating with something deep inside you, something that recognizes its truth beyond rational understanding, write "My word is law" in the comments below. It's time to acknowledge the power you've had all along. When you examine the stark contrast between those who struggle financially and those who effortlessly attract abundance, the difference isn't what most people think. It's not about education. Some of the wealthiest individuals in history never completed formal schooling. It's not about connections. Countless self-made millionaires started with absolutely nothing. And it's certainly not about luck, that mystical force that supposedly blesses some while cursing others. The true catalyst for financial transformation lies in something far more fundamental: command. The wealthy speak in declarations, while the struggling speak in hesitations. This single distinction shapes financial destinies more powerfully than any external circumstance ever could. Listen carefully to the language patterns of someone trapped in financial scarcity. You'll hear phrases like, "I can't afford that," "That's too expensive for me," "Money is always tight," or "I'll never get ahead." These aren't innocent observations. They're powerful decrees that the universe must fulfill. Money, in its essence, is nothing more than responsive energy. It doesn't judge your worthiness. It doesn't analyze your background. It simply obeys the dominant commands you issue. This revelation illuminates the hidden architecture behind why generational wealth and generational poverty both tend to perpetuate themselves. The mindset, the internal dialogue, gets passed down alongside the financial circumstances. Children raised in abundance hear confident declarations about money, while those raised in scarcity absorb the language of limitation. Behind the scenes of every financial breakthrough is a decisive shift in language. Before external circumstances changed, something more profound transformed within. The person who was once drowning in debt stopped begging money to stay and started commanding it to multiply. The entrepreneur who couldn't seem to break through suddenly began speaking as though success was inevitable, not optional. The journey toward financial mastery begins with this awareness. Every word you speak about money is a blueprint that reality must construct. When you sigh about bills, complain about prices, or joke about being broke, you're not just describing your situation, you're actively creating it, reinforcing it, cementing it into your experience. Consider this profound shift in perspective. What if, instead of saying, "I can't afford that," you declared, "I'm choosing to invest my money elsewhere right now"? Instead of lamenting, "I never have enough," what if you stated, "Money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways"? These aren't just semantic differences. They represent fundamentally different commands to the universe. The awakening I'm describing transcends mere positive thinking. It's about recognizing the divine authority that has always resided in your voice, the same creative power that Florance Scovel Shinn recognized when she wrote that your word doesn't just influence reality, it establishes law. Let's examine more closely how the language of limitation has been operating in your own life. Think about the last time you received money. What were the first words that left your lips? Were they expressions of gratitude and expectation of more, or were they calculations of how quickly it would disappear? If you're seeing the pattern here, type "I command abundance" in the comments as your first act of financial authority. Florance Scovel Shinn revealed one of the most profound secrets about commanding money when she taught that true authority comes through assumption. This isn't about hoping, wishing, or praying that your financial situation will improve someday. It's about adopting the internal stance that what you desire is already yours in this moment. This subtle yet revolutionary shift in consciousness changes everything. Subscribe to this channel if you're ready to speak with the authority that creates wealth. I share these hidden principles that most people never discover in every single video. When you assume the feeling of already possessing wealth, your words naturally align with that reality. You don't say, "I want to be debt-free someday." That's the language of lack. Instead, you declare, "I am financially free," and speak from that place of completion. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you declare as already true. This illumination transcends religious or spiritual backgrounds. Whether you consider yourself deeply spiritual or completely pragmatic, the principle operates with perfect precision. The beauty of this revelation is that you don't need to believe in manifestation or any mystical concept for it to transform your financial reality. Why? Because you've already been using this principle your entire life, just in reverse. Every financial limitation you're experiencing right now is the harvest of seeds you've planted through your declarative speech. The evidence surrounds you. Your current bank account, your existing debts, your present income stream, all of it reflects the commands you've been issuing, often unconsciously, through your everyday language. The paradigm shift I'm describing isn't about adopting some foreign concept. It's about becoming conscious of a power you've been wielding all along. It's like discovering you've been driving with the emergency brake engaged for years. The momentum you'll experience once you release it will astonish you. Behind the scenes of every financial miracle is this profound truth: assumption precedes manifestation. The woman who received an unexpected $50,000 inheritance first assumed the stance of abundance. The man who doubled his income in 30 days first spoke as though prosperity was his natural state. Their external circumstances were simply catching up to the internal reality they had already established through their commanding speech. The catalyst for your own Sao financial breakthrough isn't some external stroke of luck. It's the decisive moment when you stop speaking like someone who needs money and start speaking like someone who commands it. This isn't pretending or fake it till you make it psychology. It's aligning your speech with the truth of your divine nature as a creative force in this universe. Consider how differently you would speak about money if you truly believed it was abundant and naturally flowing to you. Your tone would shift. Your posture would change. The energy behind your words would transform from begging to declaring, from hoping to knowing. And here's the revelation that changes everything. Reality has no choice but to conform to the authority in your voice when you speak from that place of certainty. Let's explore more deeply how the words you've been speaking have been creating your financial blueprint. Because once you see this connection clearly, you'll understand why changing your declarations isn't optional, it's essential. If you're beginning to recognize how your words have been shaping your financial reality all along, type "I speak with authority" in the comments below. Your financial circumstances right now, down to the penny, are the direct manifestation of the words you've been speaking about money throughout your life. Look at your bank account. Examine your investment portfolio. Consider your debt situation. None of it is random. None of it is accidental. All of it is the precise echo of the commands you've been issuing through your declarations, both conscious and unconscious. This realization can be uncomfortable at first. It means taking radical responsibility for your current financial reality. But within this discomfort lies extraordinary power. If your words created your present circumstances, then changing your words can instantly begin reshaping your financial future. This isn't about blame. It's about reclaiming your creative authority. The traditional narrative about wealth building tells us it must be gradual. Society conditions us to believe that financial transformation takes decades, that we must patiently climb the ladder, slowly accumulate savings, and cautiously build our nest egg over a lifetime. This conventional wisdom keeps most people trapped in incremental thinking, settling for minor improvements when quantum leaps are possible. Here's the breakthrough that few discover. When you shift from the language of begging to the language of commanding, reality doesn't need years to adjust. The universe responds instantly to authentic authority. This is why people who were struggling financially one day can experience complete transformation seemingly overnight. The catalyst wasn't some external stroke of luck. It was an internal revolution in how they spoke to the universe about money. Behind the scenes of every overnight success is this hidden transformation in declarative speech. Before the unexpected check arrived, before the surprise opportunity manifested, before the sudden business breakthrough occurred, there was a decisive moment when the person stopped pleading with money and started commanding it with the authority of someone who knows it already belongs to them. The journey from scarcity to abundance doesn't require the time most people think. What appears as a 10-year process for one person can be a 10-day awakening for another, not because of external advantages, but because the second person discovered how to speak with unwavering authority rather than hesitant hope. Consider the profound implications of this revelation. If your financial reality can transform the moment your declarations change, then you're not actually bound by your past. Your history with money doesn't dictate your future with it. Your current limitations aren't permanent fixtures. They're temporary reflections of the commands you've been issuing up until this moment. The blueprint for wealth isn't some complex strategy that only the privileged few can access. It's the simple yet profound shift from saying, "I hope to be financially free someday," to declaring, "I am wealthy now, and money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways." This isn't positive thinking. It's the assertion of your divine authority as a creative force in this universe. Let's explore more deeply how this power of declaration works at the subconscious level, because the true transformation happens below the surface of conscious awareness. If you're beginning to sense the weight of authority in your own voice when it comes to money, type "I command wealth" in the comments as your declaration to the universe. Beneath all the complexity we've created around finance, the markets, the institutions, the regulations, the strategies, lies a simple truth. Money, at its essence, is nothing but energy. And like all energy in the universe, it follows the path of least resistance and responds to the strongest command. This revelation transforms everything about how we approach wealth creation. When you strip away the illusions, you'll see that money doesn't follow complex rules or restrictions. It doesn't analyze your resume or check your qualifications. It doesn't care about your past mistakes or future potential. Money is simply responsive energy that flows toward commanding voices and away from begging ones. This fundamental truth explains why financial strategies that work brilliantly for one person often fail miserably for another. The difference isn't in the strategy itself, but in the energetic command behind it. One person declares success with unwavering certainty, while another hopes for it with underlying doubt. The universe doesn't respond to the strategy. It responds to the authority in the voice using it. The profound mindset shift I'm describing dismantles our conventional understanding of success. We've been taught that financial achievement comes to those who are more talented, more educated, more connected, or more prepared. Yet we all know individuals who defy this narrative entirely, people who rose from nothing with seemingly no advantages, while others with every possible advantage continue to struggle. What explains this paradox? Command. Those who succeed aren't commanding because they're successful. They're successful because they command. They speak to money differently. They don't beg it to stay. They don't plead with it to grow. They don't apologize for wanting more of it. They simply declare with quiet authority that wealth belongs to them, and reality has no choice but to conform to that declaration. This revelation can be jarring because it challenges our deeply held beliefs about meritocracy and fairness. We want to believe that hard work and talent are always rewarded, that preparation guarantees success. But the deeper truth is that many hardworking, talented people remain financially limited because they haven't discovered the power of commanding speech. Behind the scenes of every wealth transformation is this hidden shift in language. Before the external circumstances changed, the internal declarations changed first. The person who multiplied their income tenfold didn't necessarily work 10 times harder or become 10 times more skilled. They simply began commanding wealth with 10 times more authority. The journey toward financial mastery requires examining the foundation of how you speak about money. Do your words carry the weight of certainty, or are they tinged with hesitation? Do you declare abundance as your natural state, or do you request it as though it were a favor? The difference between these two approaches isn't subtle. It's the difference between commanding wealth and chasing it endlessly. Consider how differently you would navigate your financial decisions if you truly understood that money responds not to your efforts, but to your commands. You would speak differently. You would carry yourself differently. Your entire relationship with wealth would transform from one of pursuit to one of expectation. Let's explore more deeply how the voice of authority operates at the quantum level, because understanding the mechanics of this principle allows you to apply it with greater precision. If you're recognizing how your relationship with money has been shaped by the authority, or lack thereof, in your voice, type "I speak with certainty" in the comments below. At the quantum level of reality, where energy responds to consciousness, we discover another profound truth. Money isn't waiting for the perfect economic conditions. It's not waiting for the right market timing. It's not even waiting for you to have the perfect strategy or plan. Money is simply waiting for the perfect command, the declaration that carries such unquestionable authority that reality has no choice but to reshape itself accordingly. This revelation transforms our entire approach to wealth timing. Most people spend their lives waiting for the right moment to become wealthy. After they get the degree, after they receive the promotion, after the kids are grown, after the economy improves. But this waiting game is precisely what keeps wealth perpetually in the future, never fully arriving in the present. The catalyst for financial transformation isn't some external alignment of circumstances. It's the internal alignment of your declarative speech with the truth of your inherent abundance. When you stop waiting for the perfect moment to become wealthy and start commanding wealth as your current reality, the entire universe reorganizes itself to match the authority in your voice. What's truly astonishing about this principle is the speed at which reality responds when you speak with genuine command. Doors that seemed permanently locked suddenly swing wide open. Opportunities that you couldn't access for years suddenly appear within days or even hours. Resources that seemed scarce suddenly become abundant, not because external conditions changed, but because the authority in your voice finally matched the abundance that was always available. The journey toward financial mastery requires abandoning the conventional timeline of wealth creation. Society has programmed us to believe that building wealth is necessarily a decades-long process, that we must patiently climb the ladder one slow rung at a time. This narrative keeps most people trapped in incremental thinking, while those who command with authority experience quantum leaps that defy conventional explanation. Behind the scenes of every miraculous financial transformation is this hidden principle at work. Before the unexpected investment opportunity appeared, before the sudden business breakthrough occurred, before the surprising windfall manifested, there was a decisive moment when the person stopped speaking like a beggar waiting for permission and started speaking like a ruler issuing decrees. Consider the profound implications of this revelation for your own life. What if the financial freedom you've been working toward for years could actually manifest in months or even weeks? What if the only thing standing between you and rapid abundance is simply how you're speaking about money? Not your education level, not your background, not your current circumstances, just the authority, or lack thereof, in your voice when you speak about wealth. This isn't magical thinking. It's understanding the mechanistic nature of how reality responds to commanding speech. When you declare with absolute certainty, "I am wealthy now," your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, suddenly begins noticing opportunities it previously filtered out. Your energy shifts in ways that attract rather than repel abundance. Your decisions align with wealth rather than scarcity. The entire matrix of your reality bends toward your command. Let's examine more closely the precise language patterns that trigger this rapid transformation, because the specific words you choose either amplify or diminish your financial authority. If you're beginning to recognize how the timing of your wealth is connected more to your commands than to external circumstances, type "I command wealth now" in the comments to declare your authority over timing itself. As you continue absorbing these revelations, something profound is happening within your consciousness. The old framework through which you've been viewing money is beginning to collapse. Like a house built on sand, the beliefs that have structured your financial reality can no longer stand in the face of this truth. You're starting to recognize that all this time, you haven't been declaring, you've been begging. You haven't been commanding, you've been pleading. And money, being the responsive energy that it is, has been faithfully obeying these unconscious commands. This awakening can feel both liberating and uncomfortable simultaneously. It's liberating because you suddenly see that the barriers keeping you from wealth weren't external. They were created by your own declarations. It's uncomfortable because it means taking radical responsibility for the financial reality you've been experiencing. But within this discomfort lies the catalyst for your transformation. What I'm revealing to you isn't just another affirmation technique or positive thinking exercise. Those approaches often fail because they're attempting to build new structures on old foundations. What we're doing here is much more fundamental. We're changing the entire architecture of how reality responds to your voice. This isn't about repeating pleasant phrases, hoping they'll eventually come true. This is about issuing commands that the universe has no choice but to obey immediately. The enlightenment I'm describing restructures your relationship with abundance at the quantum level. When you finally speak the command I'm about to reveal, you're not adding a positive thought to an unchanged consciousness. You're flipping the entire structure of reality in your favor. The very matrix through which money flows rearranges itself to align with your declaration. Behind the scenes of this process is a fundamental shift in identity. Before, you were someone hoping to become wealthy. After, you are someone who commands wealth as your natural state. This isn't semantic wordplay. It's a complete reversal of how you interface with the universe. And the universe responds not to who you're trying to become, but to who you declare yourself to be right now. Consider the profound distinction between saying, "I am trying to attract more money," and declaring, "I am wealthy now." The first statement commands struggle and ongoing effort. The second commands immediate wealth. Both are commands, but only one carries the authority that money responds to instantly. The journey toward financial mastery requires recognizing that every word you speak carries this creative power. When you say, "I can't afford that," you're not describing your situation, you're commanding it to continue. When you declare, "I am wealthy beyond measure," You're not describing your current bank account, you're commanding it to transform. This revelation transcends conventional manifestation teachings because it's not about visualizing what you want or feeling good about having it someday. It's about speaking with such unwavering